Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Driving and the News video. Today is July 27th, 2023. I am on my way to work. We're going to listen to 1010 Winds New York Metropolitan Area news broadcast for today. I do realize this is not very exciting, but it's necessary for us to record our history. So let's get started.
Our experienced attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless we get a recovery in your favor. Time is limited to file a claim, so call us now. 800-515-8809. Operators are standing by 24/7, so don't wait. 800-515-8809. That's 800-515-8809. Again, 800-515-8809.
WINS, WINS FM and HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
AccuWeather says breezy, hot, humid today. Sun, clouds, a thunderstorm or two later this afternoon. In the evening, there could be downpours, gusty winds, the high 94, but real field temps around 105. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Angela Laurie is our service aide. Justin Traeger at the editor's desk, and I'm Asho Kabbalah.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good morning, 78 degrees. It is 8 o'clock on this Thursday, July 27th. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. The heat is on day one of a heat wave. We'll check in with AccuWeather. The City Buildings Department now hiring an outside contractor to investigate yesterday's crane scare in Hell's Kitchen. Hunter Biden's plea deal falls apart in court. New York's animal shelter is now so overcrowded they're not taking in any more cats. And it turns out Barbie's not the only one who was named after a real person. In sports, Yanks beat the Mets 3-1 to split the Subway Series. Aaron Judge could make his return to the Yankee lineup tomorrow. Partly sunny today, an afternoon or evening thunderstorm will get up to 94 degrees, but those real feels up to 105. Winds News Time 8:01. Let's get traffic and transit with Karen Stewart.
Well, the inbound GW Bridge does have about a half-hour wait. However, we've got 45 minutes into the Holland and 45 to the Lincoln Tunnel, with Port Authority police directing traffic away from 10th Avenue as it exits the tunnel due to that crane fire from yesterday. Continue to use the West Side Highway or 8th Avenue to try to head north at the inbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel. 10th Avenue remains closed between 38th Street and 42nd because of ongoing FDNY activity at 40th Street related to the crane fire again there. In his city right now, southbound on the FDR Drive, we're jammed into 96th Street. We are a mess. We got an overhyped vehicle. It's in the center lane. The delays go back to the high 130s, low 140s on the Harlem River Drive. We're also jammed on the west side over on the southbound Henry Hudson Parkway to 95th Street, packed. We've got an accident down there, and it's blocking one lane, and it's backing things up to those GW Bridge ramps. It's awful right now. We've got that new long-term construction in the Bronx, northbound Bronx River Parkway between East 233rd and Nayreed. The right lane's closed. That goes on until the end of the year, and alternate side parking is in effect today. We're sponsored by SC Johnson Raid. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes around the clock. Breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
This is Pretection. Yep, Pretection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Prevention is the best protection. Off the #1 dermatologist recommended repellent brand, SC Johnson.
All right, Tina, first for 2023, but not a fun few days ahead.
No, the first official heat wave is what we're expecting. I was just looking at the numbers. The humidity value right now for New York City, we're up to dew points between about 73, 75. That's tropical. That's one reason that we've got the low clouds in some places, but that will burn off. And then the heat and humidity will really combine to give us extremely uncomfortable conditions. 11 a.m. on into the rest of the week, and the start of the weekend is when we have either excessive heat warnings for the city in the near Jersey suburbs or heat advisories everywhere else. This is going to be an intense few days in terms of the heat and humidity, and also other problems too, Susan. Thunderstorms again will pop into the picture here as we get in the afternoon and evening. They could be drenching and gusty, maybe even borderline severe. We'll have another round of those thunderstorms Saturday. That will be the one that breaks down this heat wave, and we'll talk about that in the 4-day forecast ahead. But if you're going out and about today, not only the heat and humidity, we've got poor air quality, orange alerts for ozone and the ground level, and also Also, poor swimming conditions with rip current risk up really high for the city beaches and the southeastern Long Island beaches as well. We'll talk about everything in 10 minutes on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Well, here in the city, the cooling centers will be available.
The city is making sure New Yorkers won't sweat the extreme heat these next few days. Mayor Adams urges people to stay safe and look out for one another.
Make sure to check on your elderly neighbors.
Pools and beaches will be open longer, as well as state and city parks. More than 100 sprinkler areas will also be running across the city. Deputy Parks Commissioner Mark Folks says people can come to any of the cooling centers open in all 5 boroughs.
For some people, it gets too hot to even venture outside. They prefer to stay in the air conditioning.
Some hotels are also offering day passes to their pools.
New Yorkers can find ways to stay cool at nyc.gov/beat the heat.
Darius Ramsey, 1010 Wednesday, 92.3 FM at Camet Plaza.
In Westchester, County parks, pools, and beaches are also extending hours as well. As we learn more about what likely caused yesterday's crane scare in Hell's Kitchen, the city buildings department is hiring an outside company to investigate.
The mechanics of the crane, the history of the operator, all of the folks in charge, everything is under the microscope in the investigation of this high-rise fire and collapse, says Buildings Commissioner James Otto.
There are lots of people who are part of the crane operation. There's an engineer that writes up the plans. There's essentially a general contractor. There's the user.
The late owner of the company that operates the crane, James Loma, once called himself the king of cranes. 2 of his high-rise rigs toppled in 2008, killing 9 people. He was cleared of criminal charges, but was ordered to pay $96 million in a civil trial. The general contractor, Monadnock, has no outstanding issues at the job site. They say they are cooperating fully. Sean Adams, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM in Hudson Yards.
The Suffolk County DA's office now revving up for the trial of the Gilgo Beach suspect.
Rex Heuermann is set to be back in court on Tuesday, accused of killing 3 women. Police here and across the country are looking to see if there are any other victims. The Suffolk County DA Ray Tierney says he will be the lead prosecutor in this case. Meanwhile, here in Massapequa Park at the suspected serial killer's house, police are watching to make sure no one stops while driving to take photos and stare at the red-colored house. In fact, about 12 no stopping and standing signs have been placed along First Avenue and the surrounding streets. A handful of people received tickets yesterday for impeding traffic. The fine's around $150 a ticket. The police commissioner says this area is not going to become a circus for people to visit. If you do not live here, stay away. Sophia Hall, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM in Massapequa Park, Long Island.
78 degrees now, cloudy skies, the humidity 85%. The winds are southwest at around 10 miles an hour. Excessive heat warning for the city and the nearby New Jersey suburbs kicking in at 11 this morning. That lasts through tomorrow evening. And the rest of the area under heat advisories for the next couple of days. Also air quality alerts. That's for ground level ozone. The temperature today getting up to 94 degrees. It's going to feel as hot as 105. And then we are looking at a thunderstorm or 2 this afternoon into this evening that could be heavy, containing downpours and gusty winds. Wednesday news time 8:07. What they thought was going to be a formality Wednesday was completely upended for both Hunter Biden and federal prosecutors. His plea deal fell apart when Judge Mary Ellen Noriega raised concerns.
Her problem was that it looked like both sides had written a plea deal that allowed to have their cake and eat it too. And by that I mean Hunter Biden believed his guilty plea gave him immunity from all future prosecutions for any possible crimes he might have committed in any of his business dealings around the world or other things. And prosecutors got up in court and said, nope, that's not our understanding. And when the prosecutor said that, Hunter Biden's lawyer stood up and said, well, then this deal is null and void. And we were off to the races.
That's Terry Moran on the ABC Start Here podcast. The judge requested additional briefings in the coming weeks. In the meantime, Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty. It's still not clear what happened, but it appeared that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had some sort of health scare yesterday. He froze for around 30 seconds during a press conference, appeared unable to speak, and had to be helped to his office by Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, who happens to be a doctor. Later, McConnell talked to reporters.
Well, the president called to check on me. I told him I got the sandbag.
Oh, nice. How are you feeling now, sir? How are you feeling now?
Well, the sandbag comment was a reference to President Biden taking a recent fall when he had tripped over a sandbag on stage at the Air Force Academy. McConnell was sidelined earlier this year after he fell and hit his head. NBC News is reporting that he took another fall just 12 days ago. Last month, the Federal Reserve decided to leave it.
All right, that's 10 minutes in to the snippet of the news. Thank you for watching and joining me on my morning commute, and we'll see you on the next Driving and the News.